So this is unique, in my opinion, something that's, it's an anomaly as far as
Really?
Yeah, definitely an anomaly.
New way of going.
No, I have not seen this one before for trial.
Hi guys, welcome back to our third episode of Sales Moguls. I just want to say thank you so much for all the fan mail that people have been sending in. We really appreciate it, and we would dedicate an episode to going through a lot of the questions that you're all sending in. Yeah, so I'm excited, new brand tool. I'm really excited to show it to you guys. It's a new sales tool, I should say. Dun Bradstreet, it's called D&B Hoovers.
I'm actually really curious to find out, just straight off the bat. I know D&B has like a main service, and then they have Hoovers. It's easy to get confused between what D&B is and what D&B Hoovers is.
Yeah, Dun Bradstreet has been around for many years. They're an American-based company. So what's interesting when I contacted them is in Norway, they're not actually owned by Dun Bradstreet. They're owned by another company called Bisnode. So D&B under Bisnode also do credit checks as well, and many other different. Oh, they do in your region as well?
Yeah, they do. It's actually really popular for credit checks, and this is supposed to be one of the market leaders in getting you verified information. D&B as a company is hugely popular, and Hoovers is sort of up and coming. I think the company is fighting aggressively to get more ground in market share.
Yeah, it's exactly. I found that the technology they use, the interface they use, I guess they take it from their credit background or working in the corporate. As we go through that, you'll see that it's a very slick interface, very different to a lot of the sales tools or enrichment tools that we've been using. On top of that, I'm just been doing some research on them. They were founded in 1841. So they do data analytics, customer insight. This is a very new segment to them. But like Abby was saying, they are aggressively coming into the market, and they do have some very impressive tools.
When you say legacy, in the software sort of world, we say there are new tools, and then there are legacy tools. This is legit legacy if it goes back to the 1800s.
In first impression, I emailed them and went through their inquiry on contact form. I had no response. I then inquired again. Eventually, someone got back to me, asked me what I was inquiring about. And even though I pretty much stated it, emailed them, they never got back to me. So it took me 2-3 tries just to talk to a person. And then when I got to a person, they didn't get back to me at all. So not the best impression. However, I was determined. So I was a determined salesperson to buy something.
You were a determined person with money to spend.
Exactly.
And I honestly, I feel very strongly about these kind of companies. You reach out to with clear intent, you have the buying power, but they don't reach out. Sorry, it really grinds my gears if you can't tell.
No, I agree. I think it's pretty frustrating when people have that, when you're trying to reach out to different people. You need to know someone just to use their product. You can't even send an inbound in. However, I will say that they were pretty upfront that they had no idea about this other product, but they were going to show it to me anyway and demonstrate it through to me. I'm going to give this sales process a 5 out of 10 based on the fact that I could not get in touch with people, based on the fact that I was not able to get a concise demonstration of exactly what I needed. And then on top of that, I just felt like the product was not aligned to what our goals were, and it would have been great to have a bit more research during that.
Yeah, okay. I guess what D&B has done, from what I can understand, is that they've done something quite clever. They probably don't have a local presence or a local big office there. They've got this one company that resells products. It makes a lot of sense. I'm observing this trend across sales companies these days, is that you have different sort of names being thrown in, and it's all to sort of soften the prospect up, because as we get more exposed to like aggressive salespeople, we start to associate different types of behavior with them. It's interesting that he calls himself an account manager, point number one. Like if someone calls me and says, hey, I'm a salesperson, immediately there are a few flags subconsciously going off. And when someone says account manager, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, he's just an account manager. He's harmless.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. He's not there to ram something down my throat. He doesn't get a bonus if he signs my contract. He only gets it from my revenues. I would rate them, again, friendly, nice. They didn't fob me off onto anyone like any other companies I've dealt with. So, for the people listening out there as well, Dun & Bradstreet, in terms of the sales team, I give them a top mark. I give them an 8 out of 10. With this trial as well, I would say it was to get access and everything set up, 8 out of 10. The only blocker I would say was you actually have to sign trial contract agreement. So you have to sign it digitally, obviously, an agreement on the trial. So that's one thing I would say. But I think that's just down to, competitors trying to steal other technologies
That's a huge one. That's a huge one.
Yeah.
If the way I see it, it's a big differentiator.
So the trial gives you 500 actions. What these actions mean is, exporting data, copying emails and whatnot, because what they actually do, and which is, I think, super intelligent for all these different kinds of sales tools or lead enrichment tools, is that when you go to click someone's email, it actually makes you agree to clicking onto it. And that's how they register an action or a credit. The only issue with that as well is if the data is not verified, then you're kind of wasting the credit on nothing.
By the way, I just want to make that reiteration that none of the other tools actually do a contract agreement for free trial. So this is unique, in my opinion, something it's an anomaly as far as
really,
yeah, definitely an anomaly.
Way of going. Yeah.
How hands-on did they even need to be?
They did not need to be hands-on, to say it frankly. They obviously said, reach out to me if you have any questions. However, this was not necessary. Although getting started, it had a very good interface from the start, which we'll go through the design of everything. However, it's very easy to go do a trial. It's very, I would say, sales idiot proof of someone like myself who's not as tech savvy as my co-host is. So it's very easy to get set up and start utilizing the product and really get down to learning more about how it could associate with my goals and how it could help me to achieve them. So getting up and running, I would give it maybe an 8 out of 10. Always room for improvement, but I think ticked all the boxes. So I was very happy with it.
I would actually give it a strong 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 because I love the design, just like you do, but I'm yet to see the depth of the product. I would like more time to actually see how deep this product can get.
So Abby, I think you raised a really good point there. And when you talk about data accuracy in terms of competition, I did actually have to revert back to Zoom info many times in order to verify email addresses and contact details. So in terms of the product, I think it's not data accurate enough. And I think the LinkedIn click-through is just not good enough. But in terms of a broad sense, it's very good for you building your profiles for customers and building everything from a strategic level. In terms of an implementation level, in terms of an operational level, I would say that the others are a lot stronger. So I'm going to give this a strong 6. If I say the customer experience and getting started, account management experience, the way sum it up quite quickly, easy to set up and get onboarded. Everything is outlined and planned out for you, so you know exactly the expectations. And need to sign a trial to get started. That's the only blocker to entry. Other than that, it's
well, if it's not even needed, if all of these things that we just spoke about, which is getting started, help with account management, help with customer support, if all of these things are not needed in your initial experience, that just means to me that it's a 10 out of 10 in terms of just usability and user experience.
I would agree. Usability and getting started is 10 out of 10. Super clear cut. I'm seeing no more than like 3 colors on here, which is great. I love the white background. It makes things very easy to understand. It's a single font, as you said. There's a little video here, so if I want a quick intro, I can click on this and it'll take me through D&B. But honestly, when I look at this platform, I can be a total nobody and I can still use this platform so easily because all I have to focus on when I'm here is 6 things. Let's get into some of the key ones so we can cover build a company list, finding contacts, and some that's a little more out of the box, which is exploring triggers. So let's get into building a company list. I want to click on get started here. And if I were to do a simple search here, I can see different sort of bars. It's super simple. I can just enter location. So I can enter the location that I'm in. No straight province there.
super clear. If I want to find a type of company, say I want to find sort of medium-sized companies, I can go into massive details like revenue. There's a again, these kind of financy elements throw me off a bit if I'm new, because I don't know what a pre-screen score is, like what a D&B pre-screen score is. I have no idea. But again, as you said, you can really get really specific and really, really granular here with the DUNS number and LEI number, etc., etc. But if I were to keep it super simple, and if I were to say, okay, I want this type of company in this kind of industry, so I'll put this industry in, and if I would say view results, it's going to give me a lot of results, which is great.
Yeah.
And then I can get into a company. Again, so simple, so easy.
So using this from a sales lead enrichment perspective, as you scroll through, it's quite, intuitive in the way it gives you people's details. It shows you the hierarchy of the company. Who are the decision makers? Do they have intent to make decisions? Have they made decisions in the past? Which is all great. However, one limitation I find it has is getting the correct email addresses and phone numbers.
So let's get into that a little bit. So let's do a random search. I'm on the contacts tab.
So Abby, you put in the manager supervisor, title contains manager, security. Cool. Press add next to title contains.
Yep.
Okay, we use manager and then move to the next one.
Oh, so you have to add. So, see, that's for me is I think D&B might have lost like 0.1 point because that was not intuitive when I just selected manager. I should have had it instantly on its own. But you know
what's interesting with that is when I was getting shown the demo from the account manager, he didn't know that either.
So this is a data accuracy score that D&B builds for you, and then based on how much of a sort of risk you're able to take on a data point, you can select an accuracy score that you're comfortable with. As direct phone, yes. College contains, I'm not going to get into, I'm not going to get too specific. I'm just going to hit a few results. And how do I see?
Click on LinkedIn. It just gives you someone with that name. It actually doesn't go into their profile. This is where you can see the difference between something that's utilized by salespeople every day and something that's used for data analytics. And that's where DB, I would say Dun Bradstreet, is really good for analytics of companies from the top down. However, operationally, it doesn't necessarily, it's not the best for a sales rep to use on a daily basis.
In terms of just the user experience, I would give it, just because it's really clean and it's really easy to navigate, I would give it a strong 9.9 out of 10.
Yeah, so I would say in terms of UX and ease of use with everything, I'd give it a strong 9.10 as well. However, the limitations that it has operationally, so the operational use from it is quite low. I think that my UX is 9 out of 10 because I sometimes think it's too much there and it could confuse a sales rep.
Let's go back to desktop.
Yeah.
And also like small things. Like desktop should really be called home. They're called desktop.
Yeah, so let's click on build a company list.
Yeah.
So,
I can also pin this interesting one there.
So look on the left there. So I feel that if you were to really want to make this an experience for salespeople, if this is who you're selling it to, or if you're selling to commercial outbound people, is make the filtering system level. So the first, 1, 2, 3 should be by itself. Then you might have advanced filters. Then you might have.
I agree. Man, that is such a good point.
I mean, going down to business signals.
I don't even know. Like honestly, mortgages and charges, I'm not even interested in from my use case.
And this is again, it might be used for mortgage brokers. I'm not sure. However, you need to be able to make the product a bit more adaptable to who you're selling it to. So that's just kind of what makes the UX a bit overbearing. However, it gives you some good filtering systems. Also, I think the explanations could be a bit better if you go up. It's very, again, like all of the sales tools that we use, they're very American focused. All of these different categories, I will give it a 9 out of 10, as we said. However, just keep in mind that you don't need to fill out everything when you're performing your lead enrichment. However, if you are pitching this into your company, this is a great tool to show the CEO, because he's going to love that, or the finance person or the business analytics, because if you can combine this with business or with marketing, then you have a
sort of like a powerhouse because it can go across functions. It doesn't have to be.
I haven't found the unique selling point. The unique selling point would be the efficiency of it and the fact that you have multiple functions. But as a salesperson, so if we look at this just as a salesperson, nothing else. Because remember, if you overbear your commercial team with analytics, they get away from the mission, which is outbound, which is, lead meetings, client acquisition, lead enrichment. If that's their sole mission to use this, then I would not say it is. I would not say it has many unique selling points. However, from a managerial perspective and from a sales director perspective, it gives you a lot more insight with things. So you can lead lists with this. So that is a good unique selling point. The fact that you can take in a lot of different segments into this, that's what makes it unique to the others, is that it can, adjust and align and integrate into different, ways of using this. So I would give it that.
I'd give it some points for being more sort of cross-functional. And then that's why I give it like 7 out of 10. Super efficient for me, super easy. I don't see why this product doesn't work. I don't see this product having any sort of like downtime. I don't think any of the platforms we've actually experienced has had any efficiency problems in terms of just like uptimes and stuff. So I would give it I actually give it 9 out of 10 for platform efficiency.
I will give it the same, 9 out of 10. I agree. I concur. It's really up to the sales rep when they're describing data accuracy is, can you find the data? Yes. What does this mean? 89 to 99. It means that maybe some data is more accurate than others. Yes, you can branch it out. However, remember, I'm really indebted this into using it or taking it from a perspective of a sales rep everyday use in a sales manager. Now, the way I look at this and the markers that I look for is it giving me contact details? So that includes LinkedIn, email, phone number. Is it giving me those details? Is it giving me the correct number of employees? Is it giving me the correct number of the correct revenue? Those are other markers I look for. And what I found in the first group of markers in contact details is, no, I had to double check a lot with Zoom Info. And if you have Zoom Info, whose whole product is dedicated to sales enrichment, and D&B, which is data analytics, is in multiple different sorts of products, and they're not matching up, who's right, who's wrong, you really have to then use a third or fourth or fifth source. So the data accuracy for me, it wasn't good enough. I had to check out a lot of things and I wasn't given the right detail. I wasn't even given details. If you click into LinkedIn, it doesn't take you to the profile. If you're looking at the phone number, it just gives you the phone number's headquarters. Whereas at least on Zoom Info, it told you that this was the headquarters phone number. So I give it a 4 out of 10 for data accuracy. If your whole mission or your whole job with this is to extract thousands and thousands of lists and then to give them to your sales reps, they will still need to verify the data before they reach out. They will still need to obviously, read up on the companies through LinkedIn. Will this give you the correct person's LinkedIn? No, you'll have to then use that extra work to find that person's LinkedIn. Foothold is one of the most expensive in the market. However, D&B Hoovers is not too expensive. All of these sales tools are affordable. So D&B Hoovers is affordable if it gives you return on investment. Now, the likelihood of giving you return on investment, if you don't know anything about the market you're going into, yes. If you know what you're going for and you just need contact details, then all of these sales lead enrichment tools, they're not very focused on industry types. They're very focused on, it's focused on enterprise industries, not small, medium business. The whole point of this tool is for someone to get it set up and easy to use and to trust the accuracy of the data. And right now, it's not giving that. Based on what a sales team needs, I think that if you have a business development team that is really utilizing the analytics a lot, it could be a purchase, However, from a very big sales perspective, I'm going to say no. But I'm
going to take your word for it. If data accuracy isn't there, if it can be the sexiest UX ever, but hey, if it's just not there in terms of driving actual value and return on investment by giving me accurate data points, then it's a no-go for me as well. Comparatively, when I look back compared to all the other tools, it really checks a lot more boxes than some of the other tools. But at the end of the day, data output is just not there. So I guess we still haven't found that one platform that gives us good data. It's still a no for me as well. Yeah, and well, I just want to say I'm really glad we covered this tool. It's really popular one. People love using it. I hope this is relevant for all of you listening in.
Keep sending in the fan mail. We love it. We love all the support from our fans. And as you said, particularly our fans in Johannesburg. We appreciate the mail.
Yes, Joburg. Yes, we love you out there.
Well, I hope you guys liked the video. We put in a lot of work, and thanks a lot, as always, for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We'd love the support. We love the acknowledgement. And if you want us to put up more videos or different tools that you think you might find useful or you can benefit from, send them over to us. Send us an email. Put your comments in the comment section, and let us know what we can do next and help us improve. Thanks again for watching, and see you again at Sales Moguls.
I'm curious to know, like, your first touch, like first experience, first impressions that you had. Let's cover that initially.
Cover that. Any more buzzwords you want to add into the? I would agree. Usability and getting started is 10 out of 10. You do not.
Wow, that's a first for Sales Moguls, by the way. That's a first.
Our first 10. Let's get a little.
Our first 10.
Sound effect. You got to give me a break, Abby. It's Sunday afternoon here. I just watched the UFC. You know, it's like I got to go on a tangent sometimes. However, I probably used it more often. Make sure you don't edit that. Make sure that gets in.
That needs to stay in the video.
That's going to be the thumbnail. Man's not good enough, to be honest.
How expensive is this solution? I did see.
Can you look up the